And look at that. We can see the counter and we can't see me. There we are. Okay. Hi, guys. I'm glad you could be here to join me today. We're going to have some fun. We're going to do bacon-wrapped asparagus salad. Yeah, I know. That seemed a little bit upside down. Now, most people know about bacon-wrapped asparagus. And so that isn't going to be anything new to most people. But we're going to do something a little bit different with it. We're going to use our bacon-wrapped asparagus. So that's going to be cooked asparagus. And we're also going to use some raw asparagus in our salad. So let's get busy. We have lots to do today. Now, oh my goodness. Let's see if we can't get everything showing up here. Okay, well, there we go. There we go. We have the camera, and where on earth is the rest of it? You know, one of these days, I am going to get this all figured out. There we go. There, got it all figured out. I guess this is one of these days. Now, I did not turn on all my lights, so before we get started, I am just going to flip on my light so we can see what's going on in the kitchen today, because this is going to be yummy and you don't want to miss it. Okay, so let's get busy. Now, the first thing we need, now if you are lucky enough to have asparagus growing in your garden, and I am very grateful that I am, and these I just picked this morning, and look at how beautiful they are. Now, these are almost too big. You'll see how the heads on these are starting to just pull away, and some of these little branches would have been just a little bit too big. It makes them a little bit tougher, but they don't get picked and stored in a warehouse and put on a truck and driven across the country and then sit in a cooler and on a grocery store shelf. So even though these maybe should have been picked yesterday, they are going to be absolutely delicious. Now, one of the things that I miss on occasion doing keto is I don't ever get peas, because peas are legumes, and legumes are not our friend. So this is a really interesting way to replace peas, because now the stuff out of the store does not taste like this, I promise. So if you know someone who has asparagus in their garden, and you can see the ends that I snapped, if you take one of these little ends and you just eat that, oh, it almost tastes like fresh raw peas right out of the garden. It is absolutely lovely. So let's get our bacon wrapped asparagus going. Now we want 4 pieces of bacon. 4 pieces of bacon. If you leave your bacon out to warm up a little bit so that it's room temperature, itchy eye. If you leave it out to warm up a little bit, it's going to stretch a little bit more. Look at how much I'm stretching this bacon. Now, this is a thicker cut of bacon, and so I want it stretched a little bit more. And then we're just going to put it on a diagonal, and we're going to wrap it around this stalk of asparagus. Now, you see where there's a bit of a hole in the bacon? You want to make sure that's pushed closed, because we don't want any of the asparagus to burn. And we almost got it all. We're going to just move this up a little bit, because I want this whole thing not only wrapped in bacon so that it doesn't burn. The asparagus isn't going to burn easily. There we go. that is pretty much going to do it. The asparagus isn't going to burn easily, but I want this bacon flavor through all of the asparagus. So again, we take another strip and we stretch it. Don't rip it, you just want to stretch it. And that the thinner your bacon is, the easier that will be to do. Now you want the bacon to overlap a little bit so that it glues to itself. As the fat starts rendering out of the bacon, it acts kind of like a glue. Oh, and look at this. We just did it almost perfect. And we'll set that down. And we're doing 4 of these. So this is about 75 grams of asparagus and 4 slices of bacon. Now this one is super thick. I might have to, no, I was going to say I'm going to save it for me, but realistically, I'm home alone right now. So this whole salad is going to be for me. But I might have to save one of these out. Okay, so the thicker it is, the harder it is to wrap, folks. That is just a reality. So we're going to get this piece of asparagus wrapped. And then we've got one more to do. Now, if you're using a thin bacon, it's going to cook. Now, we're doing these in the air fryer, and they're going to take 10 minutes in the air fryer. Okay, now my hands are getting a little bit greasy, so it's getting a little bit harder to wrap these. We're going to do these in the air fryer, and we're going to do them for 10 minutes at 375. So if you have an air fryer that doesn't let you choose the exact temperature, get something that's close. So your instruction manual should tell you. Hi, Del. Now, I can tell you for a fact that my husband is grateful that he's not home to be eating this salad. Okay, so we have 4 bacon wrapped pieces of asparagus, and we are going to get those in the air fryer. Now, you're going to see that I cheated a little bit because you can see that I did a couple a little earlier. So we're just setting these on here, and we're going to put them in the air fryer. Now mine is a caloric air fryer, and so I put it on the shrimp setting, and it works perfectly. So we're just going to do that, and in 10 minutes, and through the magic of time travel or whatever, 10 minutes, you have 4 beautifully wrapped pieces of asparagus, bacon wrapped asparagus. Now, you want these to cool because we're going to put them in a salad. So I'm just going to set these aside a little bit, and let's get our salad going. So 1 head of romaine lettuce. Now the romaine lettuce is going to be about 150 grams-ish. Now you want it washed and ready to go. And how do you like your romaine lettuce cut? Some people like great big huge chunks like you would find in a Caesar salad. Me, not so much. So I'm going to cut it lengthways. And then I'm going to do that again as well as I can. This gets a little bit harder to handle once you've cut it, but there we go. Now if you want to do iceberg lettuce, you can do that too, but I love romaine lettuce, especially in the summertime. Now I'm just going to do bite-sized chunks because I don't want to have to fight with it. Now this salad, now this is going to blow your mind, but you got to stay with me because I promise I'm going to explain this. This salad has almost 17 grams of carbs in it. What? Yes, 17 grams of carbs. But we're not supposed to eat more than 10 grams of carbs in a meal. So why would you make it? Well, I will show you. Now you just watch what happens with this salad. Now this is a fair-sized bowl, and we are going to put our 150 grams of romaine lettuce in here. And this is going to be a hint for you already. Look at how full this bowl is. Now we have all kinds of other good stuff to put in here, so there is no way that we are going to eat this entire salad. So sometimes when you are building something, you're going to build something that looks like it's really high in carbs, but it depends on your portion afterwards. All right, so the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to slice. Now this is, you can see that some of my asparagus was just a day or two over. These grow so fast. Just picked them the other day and I had a whole bunch more to pick today. Okay, so we are just going to slice this on a diagonal. Now slicing asparagus on a diagonal gives you a lot more room on each piece of asparagus to pick up a little bit of whatever dressing you put on it. And it looks nicer. So fancy, fancy. Okay, now that one. Now if you've got too much, which I obviously just did, we're going to do this. Now when you are cleaning your asparagus, you do not need to soak it. A lot of people think you need to soak your asparagus. You do not. You just need to give it a quick rinse. Make sure that you've brushed any soil off if you're bringing it in from the garden. And I was reading an article the other day, and please do your own research. Don't take my word on this. But it was an article about, no, that is cut. It was an article about whether or not you need to buy disinfectant to wash your vegetables in. And the research shows that washing it with cold water is going to rinse off anything that's on it. So we do not need to be buying disinfectant and adding chemicals to our salads. And if you're cooking your vegetables, anything that's on it, if you cook them properly, should be gone anyway. Now these are not cut perfectly, but this is about 75 grams of fresh garden asparagus. Now if you're buying your asparagus at the grocery store, take a little piece of it and taste it. If it tastes great, then use it in your salad. If you don't care for the taste of store-bought asparagus, and I love it cooked, I'm not a fan of it raw, but that's me. And so, you know, I do me, you do you. And I don't know why I missed that little piece, but I'm not going to waste it. Okay, there we go. So now we have 75 grams of raw asparagus. We're going to add 90 grams of mushrooms. If you don't like mushrooms, are you going to toss all the carbs out? Well, they're going to be kind of tossed with the salad. So there you go. If you don't like mushrooms, leave the mushrooms out. And if you leave the mushrooms out of the salad, you're going to be down 3.2 grams. So that's great. But you're probably also going to eat a little bit more of the salad, which is going to creep those carbs up there a little bit more. So I like my mushrooms cut this way. I'm just using the heads of the mushrooms. I'm not using the stalks. They're a little bit woodier. And then I'm just going to give these a bit of a rough chop. Everything that's going in except the lettuce is kind of smaller, and I don't want the mushrooms to take over as far as what goes on the fork. So they don't need to be evenly cut. They just need to be chopped a little bit. Now, I'm going to turn this guy over. Just slice these up. This is a good opportunity to practice your knife skills, which I have not been doing enough of lately. There we go. And then we're just going to do a couple more of these, and we'll give them all a quick chop when we're done. Do you like mushrooms in your food? I do. I love mushrooms fried, in the oven, raw, doesn't matter. They've got lots of fiber in them, although they do have carbs in them too. So, you know, people hear experts talk about vegetables that are low in carbs, and that's true. Some of them are. We have vegetables that are definitely keto friendly. That does not mean that you can go nuts and eat as much as you want. The lettuce is about the lowest one that we're putting in this salad. And the lettuce in the entire 150 grams of lettuce that we put in there has 1.8 grams of net carbs. So that's pretty low, right? So if you ate the entire head of romaine lettuce, you're only going to get 1.8 grams of net carbs. So that's way low. So that means lettuce wrapping your burger, good idea. Lettuce wrapping anything is a good idea. And making a salad that is bulked up with lettuce is an awesome idea. Now these are cremini mushrooms, and you can use whatever kind of mushrooms you like. These were on sale at my local grocery store today, so I picked some up. Now I'm just going to give these a rough chop this way, make them a little bit smaller, and then we are going to, look at this, I'm getting stuff all over the counter. Oh, okay. We're going to throw these in the bowl. Radishes. You know, we talk about not using root vegetables when you're doing keto. And typically root vegetables are not very friendly. But we have 100 grams of radishes, and our radishes in 100 grams has 1.8 grams of net carbs. So that's pretty reasonable. And it gives a little bit of a zip and a zing to your salad. So I just cut this radish in 4, and then I'm going to cut it this way. And I want it fairly thin because I want there to be lots of pieces throughout the salad. And we're just going to put that in there. And I need to sharpen this knife. Okay, now I could have had all of this cut, I suppose, before we got together, but it gives us a reason to be hanging out. Now, are you getting your garden started? I'm starting to. I've got a few flowers going, and I've got some herbs going, and it is definitely beginning to be gardening season where I live. Now look at this. We still have all of these radishes to put in there, and only 1.8 grams. So we're doing good. I think we're going to cut these and do a few at a time. And these are a rainbow radish. The package was a rainbow radish. So we're getting purple radishes and red radishes. There was a white radish, but it didn't make it to the salad. That's okay, because we have other white stuff in the salad. We didn't need a white radish. And if you really feel like you need a white radish, you can peel one of the red ones or purple ones, I guess. Okay, so one of the things that I struggle with in my garden is radishes. They are always wormy. So if you have trouble with growing anything specific in your garden, if you love to garden but your broccoli always has worms or your radishes always has worms, go to your local farmer's market. And if you are looking for some wonderful organic herbs, you will find me tomorrow in Rimbey, Alberta. Now I should have cut those again. Those pieces are a little bit bigger, but that's okay. Variety is the spice of life. So we have bigger pieces. This one seems a little bit woody. Can you hear that? Doesn't taste woody. But I'm thinking it was probably a good thing that I used it up when I did. I got these radishes a little bit ago with every intention of using them right when I got them, and then I got busy and I didn't. Okay, so we have mushrooms, we have radishes, we have romaine lettuce. We do not yet have cucumbers. So we are going to add 100 grams of cucumbers, and the cucumbers are going to add another 3.1 grams of carbs. We're just going to cut these ends off because they're not very attractive, and we will put them down in the compost. And we're going to cut these this way too. We want, now when you're only using 100 grams of something instead of using, you know, a whole schwack of cucumber, you want to make the pieces a little bit smaller, a little bit thinner, at least I do, so that they go throughout the salad a little better, rather than having one bite of salad that has a huge great big chunk and the next 3 bites don't have any. So that's my philosophy, but you do your salad however you want. You know, the wedge salads made with iceberg lettuce I've had a few times. I've never made one. I really should. And I wasn't really sure that it was a great idea because it was just a big wedge of lettuce, but I'll tell you what, they are delicious. So maybe we'll have to do that when we get together here one of these days. Now, we have spent a lot of time today chopping vegetables, and we are not even quite done yet. But I want you to look at this salad that has 16 grams of carbs in it, because I am reasonably sure that most people could not eat a salad this big. I mean, look at this bowl. It is huge, and it is full. Now, we have, we have 100 grams of cherry tomatoes. Now, I'm going to use a little bit smaller knife for these because I just want to cut the ends off them. Get those stem ends off. Now, these I'm not going to slice quite as, I'm not going to chop them in 4 and then I'm just going to do slices, I think. But depending on who you're feeding, if you're feeding yourself, you're going to get it all anyway, I suppose. But if you're feeding a family, you might want to cut these in half. I just want nice little tomato rounds. And after I say that, I'm going to end up cutting some of them in half. Anyhow, so this just takes a little bit of time. But then you have beautiful little teeny tomato rounds. You can't do this with larger tomatoes, but these little itty bitty grape tomatoes you can. Now, what is your favorite salad dressing? So mine is probably ranch, I guess. Although a really nice vinaigrette is lovely as well. Oh, you guys, you want to be here on Sunday, because Sunday, it's getting warmer where I live. Yesterday it was plus 22, so that was, I don't know, like 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And so because it is getting warmer here, it's getting to the time of year where I want some ice cream. I don't really care about ice cream so much in the wintertime, but in the summertime, I do like to have some now and again. So we are going to make some delicious cheesecake ice cream on Sunday, so you do not want to miss that. And Sunday is a good time for me to make it because my husband is going to be home on Monday or Tuesday. So by the time it's made and set in the freezer, and it will be lovely, and I will share it with him, probably. I'm going to have to make sure that it's a flavor that he likes because he's a little pickier than I am. But as true as that is, he picked me, so I will take it. So if you're making ice cream, what is your favorite flavor? Because if you're doing keto or low carb, buying ice cream is really difficult. And so is buying a pre-made salad, because the salad dressings that they use, the meat that they use, often has ingredients in it that are not keto. So that's something to keep in mind. Make sure if you're buying a pre-made salad that you are keeping that in mind. Okay, now here is our 4 pieces of bacon wrapped asparagus. And I am just going to, now you can see that this bacon is not going to be hard, crunchy hard. I don't like bacon hard, crunchy hard. So we are just going to cut this up in bite-sized chunks. This is going to give us bacon bits in our salad, and it's going to give us a little bit more asparagus in our salad. Now you could just do your bacon in the microwave, or in the microwave. You could just do your bacon in the air fryer. That works as well. You have to watch it a little bit more because it'll get really super crunchy really fast. Okay. Now that piece is just calling my name. That is wonderful. Now I'm going to set these aside. And I will put a little bit of that on top of my salad. Just because I can. And that's the way I want it. And in your kitchen, that's the way it should be. It should be the way you want it. So don't let anybody tell you that you can't make dip with mayonnaise and no sour cream. Certainly you can. You can also make it with sour cream and no mayonnaise. Now, let's toss this salad and take a look at what we've got. And I'm tossing it out on the counter is what I'm doing. But look at how big this bowl is. This is going to feed 4 people or 1 person 4 times. So even though there's 16 grams of, or 16 and a half grams in this whole bowl, that's not going to be a problem. Now that we've got this tossed, I'm going to sprinkle this on top. And I'm going to mix it in a little bit, but not too much. And it'll kind of get mixed in as it gets dished up. So, if we dish up a bowl of salad, how big a bowl do you need? This is, I don't know, an 8 cup, 10 cup, 8 cup bowl, I suppose. And I did not grab a salad bowl, but I will now. Now this bowl, I mean, it's a fair size bowl, right? It's a soup bowl or a salad bowl, whatever you want to call it, if you're having a salad for a whole meal. And when I weigh this salad, the entire salad, okay, the entire salad weighs 850 grams. Now that's, I know how much this bowl weighs. I have to know how much my bowl weighs because I'm mixing things in it all the time. So we have a salad that's 850 grams. So let's figure this out. We have 850 grams and we have, let's say, we'll round up because we're going to be honest about this. 850 grams of salad with 17 grams of carbs. So if I take, let's do 210 grams of salad. Now this doesn't include whatever dressing you're going to put on it. But look at this. 210 grams is a quarter of the salad. Whoops. There we go. 210 grams taken out of this bowl. So in this salad, we have a quarter of these carbs. So now, instead of 17 grams of carbs, we have 4.25. Now, if you make a dressing that is low carb or no carb, that's what you've got. An entire meal that's going to fill you up. Make sure that whatever dressing you make to put on this has a lot of fat in it, because we don't have a lot of fat in this bowl. So you need to make a dressing that has a lot of fat. And we have gone past our time today, so I'm going to let you work on the dressing idea. My dressing is going to have some bacon fat and some sour cream and some whipped cream and guacamole seasoning. And I'm going to let it sit for a couple hours, and then it will be time to eat this beautiful salad, and I will have more for tomorrow. So even if I ate half of this salad, I would only be eating about 8.5 grams of carbs. So make your salad. Keep it in the fridge. It makes a really quick, easy salad, or a really quick, easy meal that you can just grab and go. So if you need something to take to work with you, this works really well. If you need something to take to a potluck, this works really well, and it gives you an option at that event that you know is keto friendly. So now you don't have to worry about what else is there. So I hope all of you do your very best to live your best version of this shining life. That's what I'm going to do. And I am going to go and finish my coffee that has sugar-free almond in it. And a little bit of whipping cream. So have an amazing day. Join me on Sunday. You don't want to miss the ice cream. I know I'm not going to miss the ice cream. I will definitely be enjoying it. Have an amazing day and an amazing weekend. Join me in Rimbey, Alberta tomorrow from 9:30 to 12:30 for the farmers market, and Sunday morning for ice cream. See you then.